Wilson here with Psycho with Six Homeschool Sanity, and I have a very special guest today, Amy Sullivan, who is going to talk with us about raising gutsy girls. I have one daughter out of my 6 kids, and she is already pretty gutsy. She has to be with 5 brothers. I'm just telling you. But we want to know, how can we raise gutsy girls in this culture? And by gutsy, we don't mean the Hollywood standard of gutsy, like they are wearing a very provocative ninja woman outfit. Right? So it doesn't have to be that, but we want to know, how can we raise daughters who are strong Christian women who can impact the world? That is what we want. And Amy is going to help us with that. But first, before we begin that, I want to let you know that we do have a giveaway that is going on for 1 week only. And it is for these amazing books that we are going to give you a better look at in a little bit here. Okay. And this is the cutest thing ever. I'm going to have to talk more about this in a little bit. But this Gutsy Girl, it is Gutsy Girl cuff. For your daughter, amazing gift, an amazing gift that Amy has blessed us with. So all you have to do to be entered into that giveaway is to comment on this broadcast. Ask us your questions. Tell us about your gutsy girl and what you're doing to raise a gutsy daughter. Okay. So Amy, tell us about you. Tell us more about you, your family, your background. Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I love, that you are such a resource, not just to homeschool parents, but to parents everywhere. So thank you for listening to. As you said, my name is Amy Sullivan. I am from North Carolina. I am a writer and a speaker, and I am a mother of 2. I have a 13-year-old and I have an 8-year-old, so a little bit of a age span in between those 2. And so basically, when I was getting ready to turn 40 years old, I was looking at my life and just realizing I wasn't really living bravely. I was just kind of content. And this was a message that I really wanted to impart to my daughters about living bravely for God. So I started looking for resources and materials that would share that message outside of the Bible. You can find a lot of women in the Bible who are very gutsy and who rely on God, but I started to look for other things. And what I found was a bunch of kind of dusty chapter books, middle grade, young adult, nothing with really any pictures, not anything engaging. And I just saw a huge hole in the market. And so I thought, I want to do something about this. I want to fix this, because I want girls to be able to see brave women in the pages of their books, and not brave fairies or not brave mermaids, but actual women who lived, because our history is littered with them, but we don't share about them. Our kids don't know who they are. Our kids know the Kardashians, but they can't name missionaries,
Right.
And so that's where Gutsy Girls came about, is just something that I saw as a real need and something I was looking to make for my own girls.
I love it. And Jeanette has joined us, and she says that she has 3 girls. So she is interested to hear about this. And I wanted to tell you, Jeanette, that I was super interested. I get a lot of email from people wanting me to promote their website or their book or their product. And typically I'm like, it's really not a very good fit for what I'm interested in as a homeschooling mom, or what my readers or viewers are interested in. But as soon as I saw these books, I just looked at them on Amazon. I didn't even have them in my hands yet. I was so impressed that I responded right away to Amy, and I said, let's do this. We have to get these books in front of these mothers, primarily, are going to be those who purchase them for their daughters, because they're fabulous. And I can't wait to talk more about them in a little bit. But so you've given us a little bit of background into why you decided to create these books. So they are so beautifully illustrated. Now, do you know the illustrator, or is it you do?
I know the illustrator. So the illustrator is actually my cousin.
Oh,
who isn't just somebody who illustrates out of her garage, but she is an artist from Chicago. And so I think one of the reasons that this works well is because we work well. I know, I love that picture.
I love it. It's so cute.
So she and I have an excellent working relationship, and we are both focused on the same goal. And a lot of times with picture books, the author and the illustrator are very standalone, but we do so much together. We do Gutsy Girls parties, and we market together and speak together and go to schools together. And so that, I think, helps kind of make the message more solid.
Yeah. For sure.
And so, yes, I do know her.
That's so great. And so, let's talk, because we haven't even talked about, what the titles of the books are. So this first book is about Gladys Aylward. She's definitely one of my heroes.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Oh my goodness. I believe, and I mean, I think this goes along with the whole message of what you do, Amy. I believe that reading Christian biographies is one of the most powerful things that we can do to teach our kids how to live their faith. It's one thing when you read about the apostles, because they can be like these superheroes to us, and we even start to think that they're not even really human. It's like, well, they did that, but I could never do that. But these are women who lived not necessarily in our times, but they lived in our world, right? They're real people. They're human beings. And that is what is so exciting to me, just to see the miraculous things that God does in these women's lives. So this is Gladys Aylward. Oh, awesome.
Oh, and she is perfect too. She was a good example because, she was not a superhero. She was told she was not smart. She was not educated. She was never going to be able to learn the Chinese to be a missionary. And she was short. She was very short. And just when you look at all these standard society sets, she didn't make any of them. I know there's little Gladys. Everybody is fun, and Gladys was so plain. And so to see that she knew God was speaking to her and that she followed through, because the whole idea of being gutsy, I think there are a lot of books out right now that are like, be brave, but they just encourage you to dig deep. And so that's not the message behind this. The message behind it is definitely to rely on God. Gutsy. So with Gladys, she traveled on the Trans-Siberian Railroad halfway across the world by herself with almost no money. All this she couldn't have done on her own. And I'm glad that you know her. I feel like I get mixed reviews if people know her or not, and I love her story. And so I'm always excited to share it with
fantastic. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So, I just happened to turn to the page that is referencing what Amy is saying here. It says Gladys Aylward was not extraordinary. In fact, Gladys Aylward was just plain ordinary. And my daughter is not very tall. And so I think she would love this. Gladys barely reached 5 feet in height. And she failed out of missionary school. So you are really helping girls to relate. If they have a struggle of any sort, if they have something that they feel makes them less than amazing, they can read books like these that are in your series and feel like God can use them to be extraordinary.
Exactly. And that you don't have to be the superstar. And I feel like that is what I've looked for each of the women that I've featured. For the next book on Corey and Betsy, they considered themselves to be middle-aged spinsters, not doing anything with life. That's how they saw themselves. And to look now at the history and everything that the Ten Boom family accomplished just by being obedient is, I think that is encouraging. Yes. No, the fun thing with that one, and
Yeah.
I love to tell people this, and I share it with students at schools and when I go places, is in the Gutsy Girls books, there are also little hidden words of encouragement in some of the illustrations as well. So while you're reading, while you're reading with your favorite young reader, you can find some of that. Another fun thing about that Corey book is the U.S. Holocaust Museum just started carrying it in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And last March, I got to go with the illustrator. We were invited to the Ten Boom House in the Netherlands because they carry it there as well. And so we really, throughout the development of that book, we really worked with them and we asked them for their advice and their help on different points of the story. And even with illustrations, we would send them drafts and say, did we get this right? And if they said no, we were doing it again because we wanted it to be accurate. And so we have a good relationship with the Ten Boom Museum as well.
Yeah, that is so great. Jeanette, you said, I think that might be an autocorrect thing because it says my something this year is about going first and being gutsy. Maybe your goal or
your one word.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe your one word. But that's wonderful. And so this would be fantastic to share with your daughters and to make it a mother-daughter time to talk about what it means to be a gutsy girl of God. I love alliteration, Amy. So.
I do too, obviously. Another thing with the books, they have history woven.
Yes.
With each book, it talks about a specific time period of history. So you're getting the message of the bravery and of a relationship with God, but then you're also getting some history that goes along with it. People will ask me, in the Corey book, it says what seat she sat in, and everybody's like, did she really sit in that seat, or did you make it up?
Yeah.
No, she really sat in that seat. Everything in there was either from the museum or from the hiding place or other research we did. And so even the first part where it talks about Corey not wanting to go to school, everybody's like, Corey didn't want to go to school. And yeah, it's true. She didn't want to go to school. She wanted to stay home. And so that's another fun thing I like to share with readers.
Definitely. Wow. That is just amazing. Your MOPS group. I wondered if that's what you meant. So it was correct. Your MOPS group. Yes. Mothers of preschoolers. That's fantastic. If you are watching this, I would love to have you share it out with mothers who have daughters and they are Christian moms. I just think these would be fantastic for girls, and they would make a great gift, something that you could read together. You could get this cute little gutsy girl. Now, I don't know, do you sell these or is this just a giveaway?
So what I try to do is with the release of every book, create something special to give out and to go to readers. So that actually came with the book on Fanny Crosby. So I'm not giving out any cups anymore. That's one of the last ones. Not so much for me to sell or make money, but just as a physical reminder. I like reminders for girls. That's something that they can wear. Yeah. So
But you did tell me about something special that people who order your book, one of your books, and there's even another one than the ones that I'm showing, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what can the purchasers of your books get by watching this video and then contacting you? Tell us the details about that.
So the illustrator, who, as I mentioned, is also an artist, she has made Gutsy Girls necklaces. And so I'm going to give away 20 today, and we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later. But I'm giving away 20, and so girls can wear them just as a reminder, kind of like the cup is a reminder. The necklaces came out with the newest book, and so that would just be a reminder for them to continue to live bravely.
Okay, that is so great. And so they can go to your I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but they can go to your Facebook page, right?
Yes.
And what is that? I'm going to write it for people.
So my Facebook page, Amy L. Sullivan Writes. So WRITES Writes. And so yes, they can go there. And I actually think I may even have a few recent pictures of some of them on there. Yep, you got it exactly right. That's what it is.
So definitely go and like her page and let her know that you've purchased one or more of these books. So, okay, so this is Fanny Crosby.
Yes.
And,
oh,
yeah. So tell me about her.
So, when I first, because I put a lot of prayer and a lot of time into deciding who is going to be the next Gutsy girl. And I know Fanny with the presidents. One of my big concerns was, do kids know or even care about hymns today? Yes. And so I just think I was hesitant because of that. But really what I've found in learning about Fanny, and these are songs that have been around for a long time. And today, many of her songs are being redone by current artists. So I'm a little afraid that they would be outdated, but quite a few are being redone by current Christian artists, and not all of them. I mean, she wrote, they can't pinpoint exactly, but they're thinking about 9,000 hymns, and she used all kinds of different pseudonyms while she wrote, just because they didn't want the hymnals full of just Fanny Crosby.
Right.
And so I love her story in that it just shows that God can use anybody at any ability level for him and for his glory. At that time, a girl who didn't have a lot of money and who was blind and only had a mother and a grandmother, her father wasn't around, there wasn't much of a future for you. And she went on to just show that with God, anything can happen. And so she has left quite a legacy.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. So my friend Trisha is saying, and she has a house full of girls, but they're older. She said that they would have been wonderful when her girls were younger. She says maybe she'll need them for future grandkids.
Yay,
so
grandkids.
This would be a great grandparent gift for sure. So I want to know, who is the fourth book about?
Fourth book. Okay, so the fourth Gutsy girl, her name is Dr. Jennifer Wiseman, and right now she is the only Gutsy girl who is still living. So Dr. Wiseman is alive. When I go to schools and when I talk to parents and girls, what I kept hearing from them was, we want to learn about a scientist. Is there a scientist who is Christian? Where is she? With STEM being so big right now, the science, technology, engineering, and math, where are Christians? Are they represented in that at all? Do they even exist? And so Dr. Jennifer Wiseman was such a perfect pick. She is an astronomer. She works for NASA. She's discovered a comet. She's in charge of the Hubble spacecraft, and she loves Jesus. And so part of her job is to travel around and talk about faith and science and the connection, that they don't always, or they're not at odds with each other. And so I've had a really good response. I think girls are hungry for that science piece. And so it's definitely been exciting for me to see everything that's come with that.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, I hope you have no plans to stop.
Well, actually, the plan is 5. And so there's one more in the series, and I have been getting a lot of requests for like a Brave Boys or something like that. At this time, I'm just praying about it. The plan was always 5. One thing that I feel like I want to tell your listeners is that one of the faults I see with this series is there is not a person of color in it yet, but she is coming. She is the next. She was actually going to be 4, and some things changed around. So we have a person of color who's going to be our 5th Gutsy girl, and she, I don't know, every time I release a new one, I'm like, this could be my favorite. She could be my favorite. So.
Well, that is neat. Well, it's such a fantastic concept. I will definitely be praying for wisdom for you to know which direction to go, whether you need to make the leap to boys. If you do, we're going to have you back. We'll talk about that, those brave boys, right?
Well, thank you. And I also want to share with your listeners, I know homeschooling materials, everybody likes a book with materials that go with it. If you go to my website, which is amysullivan.com, I have enrichment guides for the first 3 books and book club discussion guides for the first 3 books on there. The 4th book, the enrichment guide and book club guide will release in about a month. And so if you're just looking for extra materials to supplement, we have things, for example, with the Corey book on telling time because they were watchmakers. And we have some geography, and there's some Bible that goes along with it. So there's about 4 or 5 enrichment activities that are just totally free for anyone to grab and print out. And they do correlate with the books, but it's just free for anyone to grab.
Oh, that is great. And homeschoolers will love those enrichment guides. Darlene says that it sounds like her girls would love these books. They're 11 and 9. And she wants to know, will you do chapter books for older kids?
So, a few people have asked me that even recently. It's something I would pray about and consider, but I do feel as if there are some chapter books out there now. For example, like the Here Then and Now series, and there's a Lamplighter series. And so there are some things for older children. I really feel like for me, the gap was for those early readers. I feel like a lot of times stay away from heavier topics. For example, with the Corey and Betsy book, I was like, God, don't make me write about the Holocaust in picture book form. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah. I just felt like I dug my heels in, and I did not want to do that. But we have to remember, number 1, kids are resilient.
Yes.
And 2, this is something they need to know. And I feel like I've tried to handle all of the situations with all of the girls in ways that are age appropriate. But my sweet spot, my target audience for this series is definitely that picture book. And so they vary a little bit, but they are about a 3rd grade level. But when I present to schools and to preschools, I usually do preschool through 5th grade. And then just differentiate based on whatever it is they're learning in class and just the message I'm giving that day.
Okay. Well, that is great to know. It is so exciting for me to talk with you. You've created something really, really beautiful that I think is going to leave a legacy for girls and for mothers and grandmothers to be able to share with their family members. It's just fantastic. So you also told me that there was a way that our viewers could get something else that is just a little bit special that will go along. So can you explain that?
Right. So your viewers are getting just a sneak peek at all the early stuff right now. The illustrator and I are coming up with a video series that teaches readers how to draw specific scenes from each of the books. So there will be one video for each book where the illustrator comes on and she teaches them step by step how to draw one of the illustrations. So this is open for your listeners. I wanted to give them just a little heads up or a little taste at what the videos would be. Yeah, that's.
I mean, wow! I would love to draw like that.
I know. So with the Gladys book, she walks young artists through how to draw the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Okay. And when you look at that, when you look at the Trans-Siberian Railroad in that book, you're like, I can't do that. I'm stick figures. I can't do that.
I turned to that exact page.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
She walks them through and shows them how to do that. Beautiful. So she's taking scenes from the books. And so if that is something that your listeners would be interested in, I would love to send them the video. And like I said, it's not something I'm even sharing online yet. It will be available, not even to my own readers soon, but not. So if that's something they're interested in, I would love to share that.
They could message you,
yes.
Right? So the best way to do that, honestly, is to go to Amy's Facebook page, and I'm going to put that back up again. And I'm going to remind you, and it's right, I'm going to remind you that to enter the giveaway for all 3 of the books that I currently have, I don't have the 4th one, and this adorable cuff, you will want to comment on this broadcast, not this broadcast. Well, I guess it is a broadcast, isn't it? Because it's live.
Yes.
But this video, comment, ask questions, tell us what you think of these books. We would love, love, love for you to share and get the word out. As an author myself, I know how important it is to get the word out about the books that you've written, because you can have the most incredible books ever, which I believe these are. They're fabulous. But if people don't know about them, they're not going to purchase them, and they're not going to enjoy them. So we need your help to get the word out about these. And Amy, this has been wonderful for me to know you and to really just hear your heart for girls and to hear the story behind the books. And I just really think that God is going to bless these books even more than he already has. And I just hope more and more homeschoolers will take advantage of these.
Well, thank you so much. I feel as if it's not even a job writing them or talking about them, because that's just where my heart is. That's how passionate I am about it. So I feel like it's a privilege, and I learn so much from these women that I write about. Every single one, I just steal wisdom from each of them and from their lives and what they shared with the people that they came in contact with. So it's really been an encouragement to me. And, at the beginning I was saying, I was 40 and I felt like I wasn't doing anything brave. These books were actually something that was really brave for me to do, to put myself out there and to talk about them. And it's been a really fun ride.
That is so cool. Well, these women can absolutely really just speak truth and encouragement to the moms and grandmas who are reading them as well. So that's a fantastic message. You're definitely going to want to get a copy for yourself, and then go over to Amy's Facebook page. There it is for you. And you will want to tell her, I purchased a book.
Yes.
And I would love to claim one of those 20 Gutsy Girls necklaces. Who would not want one of those?
Something fun is that the illustrator is so, they're not just all generic, like everyone is unique, which I think is such a huge amount of work, but that's just her and how she does things. So there aren't even two that are the same.
That is really neat. Well, she is very impressive. Be sure to tell her how much we think of her drawings. They're just incredible. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
And fun and engaging. And we have several people saying that they are going to be sharing this broadcast. So that is wonderful. We want to get the word out and be able to have even more gutsy girls being raised, right?
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Amy, thank you so much. And I know that if people have questions, they can leave them even on the replay. And if there's something that I can't answer, I will definitely tag Amy and we will get her answering your question.
I'll hop in over there too, just to interact with your readers as well. But I look forward to meeting some of them over on my page. And as you said, make sure to let me know, and you can direct message me your physical address so I can get some of those in the mail to you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you again, Amy. And again, I meant it, that, if you decide to go in a new direction, you're going to produce something even more, another avenue. We want to hear about it. So we would love to have you back.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you are very welcome. All right. Go be gutsy girls and women. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.